Maya had always been invisible. In classrooms, in the cafeteria, and in the endless maze of Jefferson High's hallways, she moved like a shadow. The teachers loved her for her quiet discipline, for the way she never broke rules, never spoke out of turn. But her silence wasn't respected by her peers. It was ridiculed. Students whispered behind her back, calling her mute, the ghost, or worse. She never responded. She never raised her head. To them, Maya was weak, someone who could be pushed, mocked, shoved, and nothing would happen. They didn't know the truth. The truth was that Maya wasn't weak. She was holding back. Her father had been a martial arts instructor before he passed away. For years, before dawn and long after the sun had set, he trained her in silence. Strength, he told her, is not about showing off. It's about knowing when to unleash it. The quietest person in the room often carries the loudest storm inside. Those words carved themselves into her soul, and she carried them like an invisible shield. She promised herself she would never use her strength unless she had no other choice. But high school bullies don't care about promises. That Monday morning started like any other. Students slammed lockers, laughter echoed down the hall, and Maya walked with her head down, hugging her books close to her chest. She could hear the whispers already, snickers from a group of football players standing near the lockers. Among them was Brad, the biggest, meanest, and most arrogant of them all. He was the kind of guy teachers excused because he was talented on the field. The kind of guy who believed the world owed him respect. And Brad hated Maya's silence. She walks around like she's too good for anyone, Brad muttered loudly to his friends, making sure Maya could hear. Look at her. Always hiding behind her hair. Bet she doesn't even know how to talk. His friends laughed cruelly, the sound bouncing off the hallway walls. Maya kept walking, ignoring them. Her father's voice echoing in her mind, control is strength. Walk away if you can. But Brad wasn't going to let her walk away today. He stepped into her path, towering over her. His Letterman jacket hung off his broad shoulders, and his grin was dripping with arrogance. Hey, ghost girl, he sneered. Say something, or are you too scared? Maya's grip tightened on her books, but she kept her head down. Move, she whispered. The laughter from his friends grew louder. Oh, she talks. One of them mocked. Brad's grin vanished. What did you say to me? I said move, Maya repeated, this time louder, though her voice was steady, not angry. That was enough to snap Brad's fragile ego. In one sudden motion, his hand swung across her face with a loud slup that echoed down the hallway. Students gasped. Lockers creaked as kids leaned out to watch. Phones came out, recording. The quiet girl had just been slapped in the middle of the hall. For a moment, everything froze. Maya's cheek stung, her head tilted slightly from the blow, and her books fell to the floor with a soft thud. Slowly, she straightened, her hand gently brushing her cheek. Her breathing was calm, too calm. Her father's voice whispered in her memory, never start the fight. But if they touch you, end it. When she finally raised her head, the hallway went silent. For the first time, everyone saw her eyes. They weren't weak or timid. They were sharp, cold, and burning with a storm no one had ever imagined. Brad smirked, mistaking her silence for fear. Yeah, that's what I thought. You'll never. He never finished his sentence. Maya's hand shot out like lightning, grabbing his wrist before he could shove her again. A single twist, precise, sharp, controlled, echoed with a sickening crack. Brad's scream tore through the hallway as his elbow bent in a way it wasn't supposed to. Gasps filled the air. His friends staggered back, eyes wide in horror. The entire hallway erupted into chaos, but Maya didn't flinch. She let go, and Brad collapsed against the lockers, clutching his broken arm, tears streaming down his face. And just as quickly as it had started, silence fell again. Maya looked around at the sea of faces staring at her, some terrified, some in awe, some with their phones shaking as they kept recording. She bent down, picked up her books calmly, and whispered only one word, enough. The sound of approaching footsteps echoed, teachers. But by the time they arrived, Maya was already walking away, her face calm, her hair falling back into place like nothing had happened. Only the trembling football player on the floor, cradling his shattered arm, told the truth of what had just unfolded. For the first time in Jefferson High's history, the ghost had spoken, and no one would ever forget it.